Welcome to space weather. Looking at the sun at 193 angstroms, we see a very low level. Blah 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 blah. Ugh. We see a very low level of activity as a coronal hole rotates in. Not a lot else going on. Magnetic connection started and then stopped. Earthquake drought continues. Here's what the magnetic environment looks like. And man, that incoming coronal hole is long. Look at the real-time solar wind. We see a couple little fleeting connections here with that coronal hole. But when the magnetic connection really kicks in, the propensity for 6 and 7 magnitude earthquakes is going to be very high, folks. So we see the BTBZs fairly convergent there right now. No current coronal hole magnetic connection. Solar wind density 4.88 protons per cubic centimeter. Solar wind speed now at 465 kilometers per second. Look at some more data on spaceweathernews.com. No significant X-ray flares. Magnetometer is looking like it's smoothing out. KP index is at 0. Cosmic ray human health alert. Electron flux, we're still seeing a little drought here as that coronal hole wind stream calms down. So this electron flux should jump back up today. Here's the F2 layer. Looking pretty normal, except for this little discharge region here that we usually see. Let's look at even more data at spaceweather.com. We got an article about cosmic rays if you'd like to check that out. And check it out. I consider it good news. 10.7 centimeter radio flux has gone up to 71. Confirm that earthquake drought at globalincidentmap.com. We see a 5.2 in Peru, a 4.9 in the Davis Strait. That's the award winner for me, because that is in a very far north location. We don't typically see them that far west. Kansas got a 3.2. That's a pretty rare one, probably a frac quake. Gulf of Alaska 4.1, Kodiak a 4.1, 4.1 in Mexico. Sorry, 4.6 in Kodiak, Alaska. We do see a deep quake in Chile there at 177 kilometers. So as our regular viewers probably are aware, deep quakes lead to larger magnitude quakes at the surface. Notice the way these are right in one of our warning areas, which we try to draw every day. And also we see a 4.5 in Chile as well. 3.8 in Montana. You don't see that every day. There's the location of that one. And there's that Kansas quake we looked at. .5 in Chile, 4.7 in Russia. So almost no 5 magnitude quakes. When we see a magnetic connection with that coronal hole indicated by a phi angle at or near 180 degrees, I think it's very, very likely to see a 6 or 7 magnitude earthquake. So if you're in earthquake-prone regions, folks, especially these, have an earthquake plan. Have a bug-out bag, Be prepared. Tell people that we're having an earthquake drought. Just knowing is preparation if you can afford nothing else. Let's look at volcanoes. At volcanodiscovery.com, we've got Etna with a small eruption, Karimsky with a 17,000 foot ash plume, Shivaluch 15,000 foot ash plume, Karangatang 12,000-foot ash plume. Tucano with 6,000-foot ash plume fuego. Still erupting according to satellite imagery. Turrialba, gas emissions. Revenador, 14,000-foot ash plume there. Sabancaya, 27,000-foot ash plume. So that's the new star of the list, Sabancaya. And Planchon Peteroa, continuous ash emissions. Sounds like a volcanic uptick to me, folks. What about you? Next, we'll look at the geospace magnetosphere movies, starting with the velocity. I think we're going to see a drop in velocity here as the solar wind speed just ticked down a little bit. We do see a very low velocity zone there, south of the magnetotail. There you see a little small velocity swing due to solar wind. Here's the density. Nothing too special going on there. A couple small perturbations, but nothing to really write home about. And there's the pressure. Looking fairly normal also. Moving on to geospace ground perturbations. First, we'll look at the portion of the planet where the field-aligned currents from the sun arrive, known as the poles. Regular viewers are aware that the Earth actually has two north poles right now, one here and a stronger one here. And the south pole is moving like this. Let's look at it over the globe. And we see the standard thing here. Although we see a little bit of bleed there towards South America from Antarctica. I don't know if I've seen that one before. That's looking a little different. So also keep in mind, folks, the reason we don't edit these videos is because we got to get these out as quickly as possible. And of course, we're doing it very early in the morning. So we could edit, but we don't for time's sake. Next, let's look at Galaxy Zoo at zooniverse.org. There are lots of other citizen science projects available here also. We're focusing on Galaxy Zoo because of the obvious themes on our channel. So let's classify a galaxy here. And you can too help to classify the remaining 7 million galaxies. Now we've got a kind of an elliptical thing here. Is it an edge-on disk? Well, it's certainly not. Is there a bar? Well, not really. No bar. Is there a sign of a spiral arm pattern? Well, absolutely not. Is there a bulge? Well, you bet there is. We're going to say large. Is it disturbed? I don't think it's disturbed. And do we have rare features? Well, we certainly have lots of overlap. But that's about all I can really see there, so you just say overlap. And you press done, and there we've classified yet another galaxy. Will you be the citizen astronomer to classify this one? There's some kind of odd-looking object in the foreground or something going on there. So head to zooniverse.org before another viewer does and classify the galaxy, because we're not doing it. Next, we've got a site here that has a bunch of cosmic ray monitors. We'll leave links to this. We've been seeing some odd data here, especially at Athens. And we see they've settled into a new, quite high cosmic ray level there. Mexico City, not showing the same variations at all. Moscow showing a wild spike. Nearly a 3% uptick there. And that was the day before yesterday. Here's the Oulu, Finland neutron monitor, showing that spike around the same time as Moscow, but not the ongoing increase we see at Athens. Uptick in cosmic rays at DOMC Antarctica. And a slight uptick over the past few days at DOMB Antarctica, so that's a weird one when they agree, folks. Got a cosmic ray uptick for real, human health alert in effect. Audi traffic light info helps you catch multiple green lights. Check it out. It's the traffic light information system, where the lights tell your car how to optimize speed and optimize fuel economy, because we wouldn't want to increase our carbon footprint, right? Just kidding. Please increase your carbon footprint. Speaking of carbon footprints, let's look at a phys.org article titled Cold Temperature Variability Important in Evaluating Climate Change. Now, we got some amphibian eggs here. What are they going to say? Well, they are indeed saying that the planet is so warm that it's cold. Now, we weren't sure what the article would say. The fact that they're even affirming that cold temperatures are affecting things, I mean, it's shocking. So yeah, we'll leave links to the article, but they're not just throwing it in there, people. They're pretty much outright stating that global warming causes global cooling. So I don't know if you've ever looked at a temperature. You know, look at a thermometer. You see the way the lower numbers are below the higher numbers. Not exactly sure what the reasoning is. Actually, I'm pretty sure what the reasoning is. It's to create some sort of stupid agenda and tax you. We'll leave links to the article. Congratulations, Japan. Japan lands Hayabusa 2 on distant asteroid and fires a bullet into it to cause dusty perturbations, collect samples, and now it is blasted back off and back to its holding position. How do you like that? We'll leave links to that article as well. They think they're going to find a bunch of water on there. I guess because they think the asteroid is a dusty snowball. By the way, they will be returning the samples to Earth in December of 2020. Now let's look at two files from What's Up With That. The first one, we're going to look at carbon dioxide versus temperature. Now I'm just going to leave this graph on the screen here so this can sink in. One note that I would make is in the tertiary period, around 35 million years ago, is when Antarctica formed. So if you're worried about Antarctica melting, it formed when the temperature was up here. 3 degrees C warmer than it is today. Now, for those of you who think the planet's warming, here's a temperature curve for the last 15,000 years, including the Younger Dryas cooling and the present global warming. There you go. This is all recorded human civilization right in this area. Note how much warmer it was during the Minoan warm period, and the Roman warm period, and the Viking warm period, and the medieval warm period, and how this little thing, this little uptick, is what governments would like you to believe is global warming. Just look at that graph, folks. Look at the graph. Look at the graph. Let it sink in. We will leave links to it also. Leave out the fiction. The fact is, this friction will only be worn by persistence. Leave out conviction. Leave out conditions. Courageous convictions will drag the dream into existence. A tired mind become a shapeshifter. Everybody need a sharp filter. Everybody need reverse polarity. For real. Writing credit on today's video goes to Getty Lee, Neil Peart, and Alex Lifeson. Next, let's go to random-eyes.com. If you're adventurous, if you have no fear, if you fear no blue pill, look up a random website. I dare you. I dare you to do it. Do you dare me? I'm going to press it. I'm going to press a button. And, all right. Now this is a good one. I like this one. I'm not going to put it in my favorites, but it will be saved in the description of this video for posterity. You are truly a wristwatch in a world of lumps. I'm not sure I know what the hell that means. Let's refresh. Give me your hand that I may want of your broken nails. Wow. Well done. Dear the Sun, some of us are aware that you are in charge of all the Earth's weather, and that we are not, and neither is carbon dioxide. Also, thanks for the radiation. Remember, when you're talking to the sun, don't drink. And if you drink, talk to the sun anyway if you like. Just don't drive.